Good morning, students. Myself, JVN Dr. Alka Jain, Associate Professor in the Department of Community Medicines, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University. In previous lectures, I have told about the various methods of refuse disposals. Today, I am going to discuss about disposal of excreta. Human excreta is a source of infections as well as pollution. It causes pollutions of the physical environments such as food, water, soil, and results in many fecal-oral route diseases like dysenteries, typhoid, paratyphoid fever, diarrheal disease, amoebiasis, ascariasis, viral hepatitis, poliomyelitis, and many more other such other infections and infestations, which results in increased morbidity and mortality of human beings. And thus it's a threat to public health. So disposal of human excreta assumes greater importance. Now, what is the scenario in India? In India, 69% of populations go for open field defecations and 21% of population use improved sanitation facilities. In improved sanitation facilities, they ensure hygienic separation of human excreta from human contact. Uh, Examples are for such sanitary items are flush, flush, four, flush, flush and four flush to pipe sewer systems or septic tank, and ventilated improved pit latrines with flaps. And 10% of populations use share and unimproved sanitation facilities. In such facilities, they do not ensure hygienic separation of human excreta from human contact. Such type of latrines are pit latrines without slabs and bucket latrines. In India, nearly 50 million people are suffering from such disease every year, and nearly 5 millions of them are dying. And the reasons of for this is so many. In We can include them is 80% of the population lives in rural areas, and rural peoples do not go for defecation in closets, and they go for defecations in open areas. And rural peoples have lack of knowledge about the importance of using sanitary latrines. Excreta is an excellent breeding places for houseflies, as well as excreta is and creates nuisance for sight and smell, and non-availability of any kind of latrines whatsoever in rural areas. So they have to go for open defecations, and availability of ill-maintained community latrines so that all the fill overflows on the street, and endemicity of waterborne and soil-borne disease often results in epidemics. Now, in these pictures, you can see how a fecal-oral route mode of transmissions uh, is shown in this picture. If a person go for open defecations, then what happens? They contaminate flutes, fingers, flies, and fields. From defecation, these all sources get contaminated, and from these sources, uh, foods gets contaminated, and from foods, a new host gets contaminated. Now, in the next picture or image, you can see a flow chart or a image of a sanitation barrier. So, what is a sanitation barrier? Sanitation barrier is nothing but a construction of and use of sanitary latrines which prevents the access of pathogens from feces through flutes, fingers, flies, fomites, food, and vegetables to food. Now, Here you can see that through phases, if we construct a sanitation barrier, means construct a sanitation barrier, construct a closet or latrine, then what happens? These 6 F's do not get contaminated. Further, if we construct sanitation through clean water supply, means through the supply of uh, pure water, further contamination of food can be stopped, and by further maintaining hygienes, personal hygienes, food can also be uh, get free of contaminations from these uh, sources. Now, the various methods of excreta disposals. First of all, it can be broadly classified into first one is unsewered areas, and the second one is sewered areas. In unsewered areas, first one is service type latrines, second one is non-service types, in which includes borehole latrines, dug well, pit latrine, water seal type of latrines, septic tanks, aqua privy. In latrines suitable for camps and temporary use are shallow trench latrines, deep trench latrines, pit latrines, and borehole latrines. Next one is sewer types. Uh, all these types are unsewered areas, and these are comes in sewered areas. In sewered areas, there is a primary treatment, secondary treatment, and other methods. These are the oxidation ponds, deep outfall, river outfall, sewage farming. So, in next slides, we will discuss in a detail of all these types. First one all, we will discuss what is open field defecations and what is the harm of it. Uh, Open field defecation is never accepted as a satisfactory system of excreta disposal. It might be inevitable in certain circumstances. In such conditions, like for displaced population in disasters, in the initial phase, and might work well for 24 to 48 hours, and provided appropriate facilities of open defecation areas are set up. So, in very rare conditions, this type of defecations can be allowed if a sudden disasters come. In these situations, clearly demarcated open defecation areas should be there. The principles of hygiene must be kept in mind, and the method must be followed for a short period as possible, not for a long period. The community must be encouraged to use better alternatives. Now comes to the service type latrines, conservancy systems. In this, night soil is removed by human agencies or human beings, which they use a bucket. In past time, night soil is transported in buckets on the head or in night soil carts manually to a disposal site. The collection and removal of night soils from the bucket by the human agencies is called service type because and conservation system, which is not consistent with human dignity and is no longer pardonable. It is totally unacceptable for human dignity and hygiene point of view. It is a very filthy and unsanitary methods. Night soil lying at home awaiting disposal stinks and attracts flies. The collections, transport, and disposal of night soils all perpetuate the infection cycle. And the absence of manpower for these jobs puts the system to a halt. So, in today's scenario, this system is totally banned, and it was recommended by the Environmental Hygiene Committee in 1949 that service areas must be replaced by sanitary latrines. And the founder of SULAP International, Dr. B. Dubey, also took up the issue in a big way. He showed the way forward by almost revolutionizing the sewage disposal to eliminate human carries of night soil and installing low-cost sanitary latrines instead. What is sanitary latrine? What is sanitary latrine? Has many criteria. The first one, the night soil should not contaminate the ground or surface water. It should not pollute the soil. It should not be accessible to houseflies rodents and animals like pigs, dogs, cattle, etc. It should not create nuisance by sight and smells, and it should not it should be cheap, easy to construct, and acceptable to the people. So these are the criteria of a sanitary latrines. Now next we will go for methods which are used in in pair, mela, or camps. Sanitary temporary latrines for pair, mela, and camp. Now first one is shallow trench latrine. What happens in shallow trench latrines is this method is constructed by 20 to 30 centimeters wide, 150 centimeters deep, and the trench fields can be divided into strips 1.5-meter wide with access paths and dug in parallel with an interval of at least 3 meters in between two trenches. You can see in these pictures that in serial wise a trench is dug, and the earth removed should be neatly piled at its head, and which could be used to cover the excreta by each user and subsequently to fill the trench. The issue of privacy is also important. So plastic sheeting, bamboo mat, etc. can be used to make walls. The trench is used by squatting astride it with a foot on either side and not both feet on the same side. After defecation, the excreta must be covered by earth with a scoop. The aerobic bacteria, which are enormous in upper layers of the soil, convert the organic matter into simple harmless substance, while the liquid leaches. When the trench is filled up to 30 centimeters below the ground level, it must be covered with earth, heaped above the ground level, and compacted. A new trench then should be constructed, and separate trenches should be provided for men and women to conserve their privacy. Now the advantage of shallow trench latrines are it is a rapid to implement and very easy to construct, and pieces can be covered easily with soil. And the disadvantage of a shallow trench latrines are limited privacy, short life, and requirement of a considerable space are some of the constraints. And the most one is if fly breeding occurs if excreta is not covered with earth. If the excreta is not covered with proper soil, then fly can breed and create nuisance. Now next one is deep trench latrines. Deep trench latrines are recommended for army camps and semi-permanent camps, lasting for longer duration. Here the trench is made of length is 6 meter, providing 6 cubicles, and zero point 0.8 to 1 meter wide width and 3.75 meter long and 2 to 2.5 meter deep. And it can be used by 100 people for a few months. Now the advantage of deep trench latrines are that it is cheap and quick to construct. No water is needed for operations, and it is recommended for army camps and semi-permanent camps lasting for long durations. Now the disadvantages are unsuitable where water level is high. So there is a chances of soil contamination. It often order problems, and cleaning and maintenance of communal trench latrines are often poorly done by users. Now next come is improvised deep trench latrines. It is a deep latrine which can be carried out by placing the seats fitted with modified water closets 1.5 meter in front of the long edge of the trench, and the seats are fitted with a water seal bent pipe which is connected to a pipe leading into trench, and small quantity of water is sufficient to flush the seats after each use. In uh, in shallow trench and deep trench latrines, there is no use of water, but in the improvised deep trench latrines, there is a use of water, but in a small quantity, and the excreta is flushed through sewage pipes into the trench. This type of latrines therefore is more hygienic and acceptable, and it is similar in principles to the hand flushed water seal latrines. And the water seal prevents access to flies by sealing off the night soils and escapes of all gases. So this is much better method than deep trench latrines or shallow trench latrines. Now comes to borehole latrines. What is borehole latrines? It is are most appropriate situations where a large number of latrines must be constructed rapidly and where pits are difficult to excavate either because of the ground conditions or the lack of labor force. The borehole has a typical diameter of 400 millimeter and depth of 5 to 10 millimeter, 10 meter. At least the top 0.5 meter should be lined, and it is last for 2 years. Now the advantages are the borehole can be excavated quickly, suitable in hard ground conditions and appropriate where only a small workforce is available. And if located beyond 15 meters from a source of water supplies, there is no danger of water contaminations, and it is recommended in rural areas and very cheap to construct, and disposal is in situ. And the pit is dark and so not suitable for fly breeding. Now, what are the demerits or constraints are? Drilling equipment is required, which is not easily available. There is a greater risk of groundwater pollution due to the greater depth than pit latrines. Lifespan is short, sites are liable to be cold, causing odor and attracting flies, and there is a high likelihood of blockage. This option should not only be considered in extreme conditions when pit excavation is not possible. Now, simple pit latrines or dug well latrines. It differs from the borehole latrines in that the diameter is bigger. This is 75 centimeter and about 3 meter deep. And the pit should be as deep as possible. It must be at least 2 meter or 3 meter in depth, covered by slabs. And if the soil is loose, at least the top 1 meter of the pit should be lined to prevent collapse. A squat or a drop hole is provided in the slab, which allows excavator to fall directly into the pit. Firmly supported on all sides and raised above the surrounding ground level to prevent surface water entering the pit. And the superstructures can be made from materials available locally. Now, the advantage of simple pit latrines or dug well latrines, and it is easy to construct, cheap, no water needed for operations, and the instrument which is required in borehole latrines, that is called auger, which is not necessary required in such type of latrines. The biological disintegrations of night soil and its conversion into manure is same as in borehole latrines, and when the pit is filled up, a new pit is constructed. It is also now outdated method of excreta disposals, and this was first introduced in Singur, West Bengal during 1949. Since the pit is directly below the squatting plate, the borehole and dug well latrines are also called direct type of latrines. Now, the disadvantage of dug well latrines are it is unsuitable where water table is high, soil is too unstable to dig, or ground is very rocky. It often orders problems. Now, next comes VIP. What is VIP? It is ventilated improved pit. This latrine is an improved pit latrine designed to minimize odor and flies. A vent pipe covered with a gauze mesh or fly-proof netting extending at least 0.5 meter above the superstructure roof is incorporated, and air should be able to flow freely through the squat hole and vent pipe. Therefore, no drop hole cover is required. The superstructure's interior is kept reasonably dark to deter flies, but there should be a gap usually above the door to allow air to enter. Now the advantages are reduced order and flies and good results. And the disadvantages of constants are difficult and expensive and time consuming to construct properly. And dark interior may deter young children from use. Doesn't deter mosquitoes. Now next come is pour flush latrines or water seal latrines. Now it pour flush latrines or water seal latrines. It is a latrines which is a very hygienic mode of excreta disposal. It functions on the principle of water seal. What is water seal? Water seal is the distance between the level of water in the trap and the lowest point on the concave upper part of the trap. And the bent pipe is called the trap because it traps certain amount of water as to provide water seal. This water seal prevents the access of flies and also prevents the escape of foul smell from the drainage pipe into the house. Water acts as a hygiene seals and helps remove excreta to wet or dry disposal systems. And the simplest pour flush latrine uses a latrine pan incorporating a shallow U bend which retains the water. This is water seal. After defecation, a few liters of water must be thrown into the bowl in order to flush the excreta into the pit or sewerage system below. The amount of water required to flush the system will depend upon the type and size of the water seal constructions. Mainly it's a 90 mm U bend normally requires 2 to 3 liters to flush effectively, and in 120 mm U bend generally requires 4 to 5 liter of flush. So more the length of U bend, the more water is required. These quantities are significantly less than the amount required to flush most western out water closet toilets, which may use as much as 15 liters per flush. So, in modern water closets, which we use, uh, have 15 liters of water flushed in one time. These type of latrines may be constructed directly over a pit or may be offset whereby the waste travels through a discharge pipe to a pit or a septic tank. And the features of a RC, mainly it's a type of RC latrines, and the location should be located at least 15 meters away from the source of water supply, and squatting plate or slab, including the footrest, should be made of an impervious cement concrete material so that it can be washed and kept dry and clean. Measuring 90 centimeters square, 5 centimeters thick, with a slope of half inch towards the pen, as to drain the ablution of water used for cleaning purpose. Now the next is water closet, a pen having a smooth finish sloping from front to back is fitted just below the squatting plate to receive the night soil, urine and wash water. The water closet has the connection with the duct well through the soil pipe or connecting pipe. It removes the night soil through the agency of water immediately, thus preventing smell and fly nuisance. Now, what is trap? It is a bent pipe of 17.5 centimeter diameter and the vertical portion being connected to the lower part of the water closet and the bent portion being connected to connecting pipe. It is called trap. Why? Because it traps certain amounts of water and provides water seal. Depending upon the direction of the outlet outwards, it may be named as a P trap, S trap, Q trap, flow trap, and gully trap. Now the advantage of forced flush ratings are it produces lack of order, relatively less water is used. It is ideal where water is used for anal cleansing, easy to clean, Offset design doesn't require a self-supporting lateral slabs, and the disadvantages are solid anal cleansing materials may cause blockage and more expensive than simple pit latrines. Now the different variants are available for such type of latrines. First one is PRE type. It's a planning, research and action institutes. Second one is RCA types. RCA is research come action project, and ICMR type. It's by Indian Council of Medical Research. And the last one is VIP latrines. In this type, the superstructures containing the squatting plate is permanent and is away from the pit. Thus, it is an indirect type. Therefore, the pit can be of any dimension. When one pit is filled up, the latrines can be connected to the another pit. So, this is enough for today lectures. And now in next lectures, I will discuss in detail about the RCA latrines. Thank you. Vande Mataram.